Witnessed True Extremes. I'm sure it was fairly extreme for everybody. I'm going to bring up Mr. Buchanan, the director, story co-writer. Jamie, if you want to come up. Troy, by all means, come on up, guys.
Sid.
Now, Sid can sit where he's at. By all means, anyone who worked on the film, please come on up. It'd be great. Thank you. Jason Buchanan, John F. Kerr, Jebediah, Mr. Sid Redlin, Mr. Brad Torino, one of the producers, and Mr. Troy Randall Kilpatrick. Hands here a second. All right. Oh my gosh! Let's clean, folks.
I just want you to know that was not the film we originally screened. Here.
Here, well, let's go on the stage, guys.
Okay. Oh wow, we're allowed on the stage.
Ooh.
Wait, leftovers didn't go on the stage. Come on up, you guys.
Oh, don't push your luck anymore. Okay. All right, gentlemen. I gotta tell you, this is something Shirley and I watched when it came in. We were like, "This thing's done. This is amazing. I gotta see this." It's something we've been well, we've been waiting so long for it. It came kind of like the anti-marketing, so like a Sandman-esque type thing. You just sort of show up in a little package, sort of obscure, kind of quiet thing. It came with other Evil Genius film called Sixth Extinction, which is terrific. We just didn't have time to program it today with the other things going on, so please check that out. I know it just got distribution. Is it evilgeeniusentertainment.com?
Yeah.
With that said, what else can you guys tell us about this film? Please, Jason, go ahead. Where's the genesis of this? I know about it, but please tell them.
You know, it was a kernel of an experience that something Jebby and Brad and I were involved with, you know, before, and it just kind of came out of that experience, certain frustrations that we had, certain realizations that we had about the process of making movies, and you know,
it was weird because it took us 100 years to do it in post-production, but at the same time we shot it insanely fast.
Yeah, it was
like
super fast.
Like a super quick hate letter to something that had
It
happened.
was a labor of
to
hate.
us.
That's my kind of tagline on it. It's awful.
And everything just fell into place to start putting it together, and we just went for it.
This is where the idea of something bad happened is sort of a what if. Sort of.
Yeah, we had an experience and tried to say, what if this happened a different way or under different circumstances?
If you hadn't had the self-control to deal with it constructively.
It's terrific. I remember when we were talking about the film and going through went through the audition process. I know they want me to play the lawyer, and I was like, no way. You know, I'm into a toilet, and I'm not going to have this guy sticking everything in my face. He's supposed to be peeing, and I was like, but we were sitting there watching it, and I was just going, man, I kind of wish I kind of had a part of that now, because you know, taught me a lesson.
Jeff had a couple long days though. He was amazing.
You
Him
couldn't
and
beat
Jackie
him.
and Troy, of course.
You really couldn't beat him enough. I think he deserved it more. That's what I
That
thought.
wasn't makeup. We really took Jeff's foot off. He had it coming.
He was a good sport about it, though.
Yeah,
Damn
it's
love
incredible.
Plutonian people.
So I want to talk about the process, though, for acting. I mean, I'm not an actor, but I really appreciate what they do when they look at it. I found it really, correct me if I'm wrong, and it's just my perception, okay? So it's as if the character, you play the character, Troy, you play him at a 10. Like, you start up here, you flip the paradigm on it. Most people would work their way up to insanity. You start with insanity, when he actually starts getting more quiet and more reasonable, you realize that's his 10. More he starts changing the extreme, obviously, true extremes from this end to this end. He goes like batshit here to like all the rest of us. And then he comes back around to batshit again. This arc is really incredible what you did with that. Can you tell me something about what you did with that? How were you thinking about the character?
Well, I think somewhat the script kind of calls for it, because as we open on this, you know, in the film, he's kind of in a position where he's at this level of frustration, so it kind of gives a window into this guy's persona. And I think he's kind of he's a person that's not on a level keel ever in his life.
Clearly.
And you know, there's just so much that comes for me for acting. It's just so much in preparation. You know, I spend so much time preparing, you know, breaking down the beats and, you know, looking at the intentions of a character, and you know, I really spend a lot of time there, so that when it was finally time to get in front of the camera or be on stage, you're fully prepared. But you know, really with this guy, I mean, he's just got so much turmoil in his life. I think, you know, there's a lot of innate problems there. So, you know, he really is, you know, from one extreme to the next. You know, I think throughout his entire life. And this is finally the event.
It was amazing watching you turn it on and off, too. I was scared acting with you because we'd be talking just like this, doing the thing, and...
Beautiful guy.
Okay, rolling. Cut. Yeah, and so what were we talking about? You did that, like, the 0 to 10, and it was like a light switch with you.
And he was so quiet in the audition, and it
Right.
was like to see that come out.
He really is like the nicest guy in the whole world.
We promise. He doesn't grab dead bodies in his basement. It's okay.
It was so much fun.
I'm nothing like this.
But I really appreciate, I mean, we've all worked at this level of filmmaking, most of us in this room, and it's kind of that, you know, love letter, the blue velvet level of love letter from the heart type of, to micro cinema in general, and what we have to go through and struggle with, and those trials and tribulations that came out. And I'm not a big fan of watching films by filmmakers making films. It's kind of like, I'm sure doctors don't watch doctor shows and lawyers don't really watch lawyer shows. But something really rare about this film is it sort of had that nice living in oblivion type of thing where you could just relate to the character and go as far, and then you realize how far he takes it. You go, I'm really looking kind of in a mirror. For myself as a filmmaker, how you want to control everything, and then it starts all things from. I mean, I've met filmmakers like Reese at the beginning of this film who will do whatever it takes, and everything's a problem, and everything's an issue. I've seen them throw away their marriages. I've seen them lose custody of their children. I've seen them live in their parents' basement and do whatever they have to get that piece of shit short done. And then when they don't feel they get the recognition that they deserve, particularly running a film festival, you see this a lot. That validation that they did something good, let alone something right. You should see the letters we get from people when they feel rejected. And I think that was really important part of, you know, Shirley and I talking about this, and, you know, I'm not going to give away who is getting this award, but you definitely need to put on there nominated for the Boomstick Award, because we talked it up and down. This is a rare treat. It's a tremendous film, and I'm really honored and appreciative that you guys made it and were able to bring it here. Thank you all very much. What else are you gentlemen working on next?
Well, I
Start
think
here and we'll end here.
Yeah.
With the exclamation point.
Jason and I have been talking a lot about doing something locally. We're from Ann Arbor, and we really want to get something going there. And we were thinking about doing a late night talk show / movie show kind of thing, where we have bands, and we would show locally made films instead of showing Dementia 13 and House on Haunted
Horror
Hill.
host style, to indie micro budget stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's something we've been pursuing, and we've got a fun concept for it called The Dangerous Stranger, and we're pushing hard to get it done. And it's
gonna be a lot of fun.
It's really funny and different in tone. I mean, we're both pretty funny guys, and it's like we put out this big hateful thing, and now we kind of want to do something fun, reflect a different thing that we like about genre films. So that's what the two of us have been working on.
That's it.
I'm not an actor. I got roped into that because I was at the audition so that my wife, Melissa, who played the wife in the film, could audition, and they needed somebody to read the part of the sleazy film guy like AEG here. They pumped me full of a couple of white Russians and said, go.
Son of a bitch. He's like, oh, so man. I was like, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, so they just said, have a couple of drinks and just come on stage and do it, which I didn't have the drinks before the performance, but they were like, act like you're a drunk, sleazy film guy. I'm like, all right, so I'll do that. I actually did the paintings for the backgrounds, and they asked me to do the soundtrack. That was the original way I got involved, and that boom sound, when I found that in my gear, that became kind of like the for true extremes. And I heard it the first time I heard it, I went, that's it! And I just started rolling tape, and I got like 20 minutes of that sound that I could just drop in anywhere I needed it. And now I have a live band called Boron Nuzzle. We're playing the Detroit Subgenius Revival November 13th in Detroit. We've been playing a lot around in Michigan, Chicago, Detroit. And we're doing avant-garde music like that on a live stage. And it's amazing to watch what happens, because you'll have 100 people in a bar, 50 of them will go get a cigarette, the other 50 will come right up to the edge of the stage and go, because they've never seen anything like it in a live setting. And a lot of that music I played live. I actually just watched the movie and I had a bunch of oscillators and synthesizers and things, and I played along with it. And you can do it live. It's not just computers and digital. So
And you
we're
get
trying
the
really
art
hard to
snob at
bring
the
that.
end there. I've met so many festival directors that they come on stage and they do their Dude Lebowski thing, and
Yeah,
he
exactly.
nailed it. It was
Exactly.
really terrific.
But yeah, we're just trying to bring that to the live music now.
Yeah.
That's what we're
Thank
working
you,
on.
sir. Jebby?
I've sort of worked with all the same people, a lot of the people in this movie, and I'm hoping to work with them again in a romantic comedy that I'm going to be shooting either
That's a
this
change of
fall or
pace.
in the winter. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sort of lightening it
What's
up
it
too,
called,
you know,
sir?
from extremes to romantic comedy. It's called Ring Slingers, and it's a little story of a couple people who decide to share a wedding ring. See if that helps them land some chicks.
Nice.
So
Interesting.
little change of pace.
Where
yeah.
can we find some more information about it?
Ringslingers.com.
Okay. Is it on Facebook as well?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
So, ubiquitous Mr. John F. Kerr, who's changed
Jimmy!
entertainment. Thank you, John. Mr. Kilpatrick.
I'm currently taking a bit of a break. However, I've had the privilege of working with a number of tremendous directors, a number of which are in this room, 3 of which
And
are
me.
on the
Tremendous,
stage
and then there's
right
also
now. So I'm hoping to get back to my acting career very shortly here. So
Yeah, it's wonderful. Terrific. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll let you wrap it up and relax. We're about to flip the theater for the next screening here. I think it's Gray Skies. Is that right, ladies?
No, that's at 4.
And at 4, that's when Gray Skies is playing.
Go see it.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you all very much. Mr. Lucas Strowski, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And Jimmy Freeze,